Hello there. We are going to be discussing this question number 10, which is from a paper 1 written in May-June of 2002. The question reads, the functions f and g are defined by f such that x is mapped onto 3x plus 2, where x is an element in the set of real numbers. G is such that x is mapped onto 6 over 2x plus 3, where x is an element of real numbers and x is not equal to minus 1.5. We are being asked to find the value of x for which fg of x is equal to 3. Let us look at that part which is testing for our knowledge on composite functions. Now, f g of x, what that means is, if you go to the function of f of x there, where there is x, we are going to replace it with the function of g. So we are going to have f and have 6 over 2x plus 3, where we were having x previously. And going to the function itself, we are going to have 3 open bracket 6 over 2x plus 3. So the x that we had in the function has been replaced by 6 over 2x plus 3 plus 2. We then simplify. We'll have 18. That is when we multiply out the bracket with 18 over 2x plus 3 plus 2. We are told that we should find a value of x for which fg of x is equals to 3. They're saying fg of x is equals to 3. So we are going to replace the left hand side with 18 over 2x plus 3 plus 2 being equals to 3. So we will solve this equation by taking 2 to the left hand side. So we have 18 over 2x plus 3 is equals to 3 minus 2. We get 18 over 2x plus 3 being equals to 1. And to get rid of this denominator, we will multiply the right hand side, and we'll have 18 equals to 1 by 2x plus 3. And when we open the bracket, to be 2x plus 3. So solving this equation, we are going to get the value of x being equal to 15 over 2, or 7.5. So this is the solution for the expression that you are being asked to find in part 1. In part 2, we're being asked to sketch in a single diagram the graphs of y equals to f of x and y is equals to the inverse of f of x, making clear the relationship between the two graphs. What I did here was to represent the graph of f of x on our Cartesian plane, our xy axis. And to draw that straight line for f of x is equal to 3x plus 2. I substituted 3 values from the x-axis. The first one was 0. I substituted 0 there and I get the corresponding value of f of x being 2, which is also in a y value. I then substituted 1 and I get the corresponding y of 5. I substituted minus 1 and I got a corresponding value of minus 1. So when I plotted the 3 points, which are these ones, I then joined them with a straight line to get the graph of y equals to f of x. And now to draw the graph of the inverse of f of x, that is f to the power of minus 1 x, I needed to have this line y equals to x. So the relationship between a function and its inverse is that they are a reflection of each other in the mirror line y equals to x. This is a very important point. Whenever you are asked to draw a graph of a function and the graph of its inverse, make sure you have this line y equals to x. It carries a mark or two on its own. It shows that you understand the relationship between the function f of x and its inverse. So after drawing this straight line, I then reflected it in the mirror line y equals to x to get that. And that's the result that I get, that dashed blue line. It is a reflection in the line y equals to x. When you've done that, you would have successfully answered the question. Let's move on. Let me just add a few more slides there. We want to get a few more slides so that we do the next part of our question. Let us look at part 3. What does it say? We are asked to express the inverse of f of x and of g of x in terms of x. And then in the second part, we are asked to solve that equation or formed by the two inverses. Now, we'd like to start by finding the inverse of f of x. To do that, we will let y equals to f of x, which implies that y is equals to 3x plus 2. So y minus 2 is equals to 3x, and dividing both sides by 3, we have y minus 2 over 3 being equals to x. And then you can change this y to become an x and this x to become an y. That's always a standard procedure that you have to undertake during the process of finding inverse of a function. So you will now have x minus 2 over 3 and you have your y. Then your inverse then of f of x will now be x minus 2 over 3. let us also do the inverse of g of x. Similarly, we'll let y equals to g of x. That means we have y equal to 6 over 2x plus 3. That was the function of g, if you remember. So we now continue with the process of making x subject of formula. I will take this denominator to multiply the left hand side there, so that I have 2, or rather y, 2x plus 3 is equals to 6. Multiplying out the bracket, you'll have 2 xy plus 3y being equal to 6. And then now I can factor out this y, and I will have 2x plus 3 inside the bracket and y outside the bracket, and I'll have 6 there. Then I can divide I think that there is an error. I don't need to do that at that step. What I need to do is to take 3y to that side, because I would like to make a x subject of formula, so everything else has to go to the right hand side. So you'll have 2xy is equals to 6 minus 3y, and then 2y will divide both sides. On the left side you remain with x, and you have 6 minus 3y over 2y. Again, you have to change the letters x and y, x becoming y and y becoming an x. The expression that you get is the inverse of g. So these are the two inverses, the inverse of f of x and the inverse of g of x. Now, in the next part, we are asked now we are being asked to find the value of x when we solve the equation. So the equation that we are given is inverse of f of x is equals to the inverse of g of x there. We have already got an expression for that, and that expression is x minus 2 over 3 is equals to 6 minus 3x over 2x. Now you multiply 3 to the right hand side and 2x to the left hand side, so that you have 2x here. X minus 2 goes to 3, 6 minus 3x. You will then have 2x squared minus 4x is equals to 18 minus 9x. So taking all the terms to the left hand side, you end up with a 2x squared plus 5x minus 18. You can pause the video and check on that. So this is a quadratic equation which can be solved by either the factorization method or the quadratic formula. And when you used either method, you should get your 2x values. X is equals to minus 9 over 2, or x is equals to 2. So this is the solution of part 3. We are done with paper 1 of May, June 2002. Thank you.